Hello and welcome, your lovely faces. I've moved the cameras. Sorry, I'm Anthony Mackem. We're on to the Friday Night Football, also known as the Mackem Football Show on all streaming services. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I've got Who's Talking and When, so you'll see. This one is me, that's Anthony Mackem. This one is Professor Darv. This one is DJ Earth. And this one is Yorkshire Mackem, aka Jacob. So, I'm just going to go off mute and say hello to the lads, and we'll go from there. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, me sexy Mackem.
Happy Friday indeed.
That was the strangest moment.
Ooh, I like the new loadout. Ooh.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
Keisha. Loadout? What the fuck?
Layout. Thank you.
Layout, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, whilst we are having this lovely chat, there is one championship game underway, and that's the Reading Cardiff game, which doesn't have a major impact on us at all. Oh, we're also joined by Paul from RWA. Hello, Paul.
Hello.
So, Acacia's here.
How are you doing, Paul? Sorry about that joke on the chat the other day.
That's alright. You actually made me laugh, actually.
Do tell. What was the joke? Was it repeatable? That's definitely a northern. So, since our last chat, there's been two Sunderland games, haven't there? The Reading 1-0 win at the Stadium Light and the 3-0 away win to QPR, which is amazing. Keisha, welcome along. Exile Mackem, welcome along as well. Who's going to the game tomorrow? I'm doing good. Thank you. Hope you are too. So, should we talk about the first game, the Reading game, the 1-0 game? We'll go along back to front. So, Jacob, what's your thoughts on the Reading match?
It was a frustrating start for Sunderland. Reading, it felt like it was cup final day for them. For a lot of teams in Championship, it is when they come to the Stadium of Light, and I think they were a better team. But then, as the game went on towards second half, I think we were a better team, and I think Patrick Roberts really saved the day for us. And you know, a point. No, I wouldn't have been. It would have been a bit frustrating, to be honest, but it was a bit of a relief when we scored. It was such a relief because it felt frustrating and boring, and you know, a lot of teams like to do that with Sunderland. They like to come up and frustrate us, and you know, shouldn't be letting that.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like their game plan. Rosie's popped into the chat. Welcome along, Rosie, too.
Hey, how are you doing?
Paul, what were your thoughts on the Reading game then? Is he there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think I am. To be honest, I was actually happy with the performance, but for me, I've got to give credit to Jeff Brown for his interview he done with Paul Ince after the game.
Okay. I didn't see that, so for those of us that are unaware, explain. Go for
it. Basic Jeff Brown actually told Paul Ince that why were your time wasted all game?
Yep. Okay. So he basically called it out.
Yeah, he did. Jeff Brown did.
Fair play to the man.
Is that the reporter, Jeff Brown?
Yeah, for BBC Look North.
I know Jeff Brown very, very well. When I was little, when I was about, like, say, 10, 11-year-old, Jeff Brown played football on a Sunday league for a team called Seaburn Athletic, and I was Seaburn Athletic's mascot. And he used to take us all over in his car to see the away games and everything. And I only found out really 3 or 4 years ago that it's the same Jeff Brown that was on Look North, and I was speaking to him a while back. It's crazy, that, like, absolutely crazy.
It's a small world. So, are you saying, Paul, that the Reading game was an absolute waste of time from a Reading perspective, or something else?
I thought we were better than them, to be honest, Anth.
Yep, I agree. DJ, you're up next. What are your thoughts
Hello.
on the Reading match?
Um,
The 1-0 win. I don't know if you recall it. It's nearly a week ago now.
yeah. Well, I just think it was a good gritty performance by Sunderland. I mean, Reading came to the stadium like, didn't it, to just play a time wasting boring football. It was awful to watch. I mean, the old Sunderland would have probably not been able to break them down, but we just ground them down, especially the last 20 minutes. We started to really get all of the game and our quick passing, which we're known to do down the wings and stuff. They couldn't cope with us, and we felt a goal was coming for Sunderland, to be honest with you. And it was just deserved what Sunderland deserved it, really. And you know, to come to the stadium, you like to play negative football, you're going to get punished with this
Well,
up-to-date Sunderland side.
I was going to say, days of old, that would have worked against us, but I think we're a completely different team now. So yeah, I do understand the tactic from Reading in that match, but yeah, it doesn't work against our current squad because they don't seem to drop their heads that often. Dov, what were your thoughts on the match? You tuned in live, didn't you?
I can remember a little bit.
You fell asleep halfway through.
Was this? Yeah, this is the game I dropped out because I was fucking knackered, right?
Yeah.
I think I only saw the first half, which was a bit dull.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't really say much because I didn't watch half the bloody game, but from the half I saw, it was a bit like ping pong. It was a bit back and forward.
Yeah,
that's all I can really say. Really.
Cool. I'll weigh in now. For me, I think the game plan from Reading, like you called out, was to waste time and frustrate us. And days of old, that might have worked with basically catching us on the counter attack or morning, DJ morning. Yeah, catching us on the counter attack or something like that. That might have worked, but with our current squad, especially the amount of like constant running that we do and chasing them down wasn't going to work. Clark, Roberts, Ahmad, who else was doing it? Luke O'Neill when he came on. Yeah, it was absolutely. It was all positive football from a Sunderland perspective, and the first half I kind of felt that they were getting their way, especially with some of the refereeing decisions, like basically rather than cards being thrown out or it was always just warnings from the ref, and I thought that it was essentially like at half time. I was very, very bored. The game pretty much went nowhere. We attacked like three solid occasions in our first half, and I thought it's probably going to end like this. But like I said in my show, it only takes one moment of brilliance, and Clark was the provider for that one. Driving it. Was it Clark or Roberts? Who scored for us again? It was Roberts, wasn't it? Sorry, Roberts was the one who was
Roberts,
driving.
Yeah, he cut in and he kind of lost possession in the right hand side of the 18-yard box, and he had a bit of fortune because the one of their defenders, I think, he stood on the ball and bobbled free, and Roberts just pounced like a trapdoor spider and bang, just smacked it in the back of the net.
Yeah, and what was that, like the 85th minute, something like that? Really late in the day, so absolute jubilation from a Sunderland perspective. 3 points on the board. We climb up into 7th at that point, and yeah, it's all looking rosy. Sorry to use your name, but it was all looking rosy at that point. And yeah, like that game for me, what is a good sign and an indicator of last season, or even towards the start of this season, those are the kind of games that would have ended 0-0. They would have frustrated us, and it would have been a point apiece. Blackpool comes to mind for this season. Shrewsbury last season, like those kind of games, we would have faltered. But this time round, I don't know. Like I think there's just that little bit of extra quality and belief in our squad. Is that something you guys are happy with?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm actually happy with it.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake, him again. Who's that? What? The referee we have tomorrow is the one who sent off Elliot Ambleton when he got stretched off against Hull City. But we are playing Bristol City tomorrow. Yeah, so last time round, it was the second game of the season, wasn't it? And they'd played 2 games on the bounce and lost both of them 3-2 after being ahead. So if it's the same Bristol City side,
it is. I was down there and I was speaking to a couple of their fans actually after the game, and actually that game they were actually calling for Nigel Pearson to go.
Well, losing 2 games after being ahead, I can understand it. But the 16th now, Nigel Pearson hasn't really rocked up the league all that much with them. But if it's the same kind of outfit and mentality, I really don't. I'm not going to be massively worried against them. I think they'll probably score, but yeah, I think we're definitely better than Bristol City at the minute. But yes, that's the Reading game. On to the QPR game, which I think everybody enjoyed, especially after the half-time whistle. Yeah. So the vid card, if you're watching it on the YouTube, is underneath. So all of the action points are directly underneath. So we were 1-0 up at half-time, and on the live stream, I think, DJ, you asked the question, are you happy with our performance? And at that point, I said no. And I'm going to stick to that. At half-time for Sunderland, I thought we were subpar and hadn't really stepped into gear. The fact that we took the lead just shows you how poor QPR were on that night. I'll switch up my approach towards the second half, but I'll let you guys chip in. We'll do it the other way around now. So, Darv, you managed to watch all of this match, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Good.
Yeah, well, I was actually really impressed. I think it was a really good game from your side. First half was a bit shaky, but you seem to always be a bit shaky the first half. Yeah, brilliant couple of goals from Clark. Absolutely, that third goal was fucking gorgeous. Really good ball. You had quite a lot of chances second half. Really nice plays from going in from the wing, passing into the box. Premier League stuff. I like to see it. Yeah. Can't really say much else. Just second half, you seem to just switch on, and yeah, you got your goals for it.
Do we deserve to be in the playoffs the way we're playing at the moment? Or
I will say from the last, I'd say probably a month and a half, I have noticed a pretty good increase in your players. I think they are.
The mentality.
It's almost like they've been. Yeah, it's almost like they've been told like, you make it into the playoffs, and then they've kind of gone into the games like, oh, okay, like, well, we can do this, and then you can kind of see it in the performances. Yeah.
I wonder if there's some financial incentive behind that, because that would be my main driver to perform that a little bit better.
Maybe there is.
Maybe there is. DJ, mate, what were your thoughts on the QPR 3-0 win?
Yeah, I mean, I thought like you say, it was kind of scrappy. It was like, once again, we were playing with a handbrake on, and we were a bit sluggish. But you know, you're not going to be world beaters every single game. You're going to get games like that. But you know, I thought tactically Sunderland just grew stronger and stronger as the game went on. Obviously, we got that scrappy goal by 09, which put us on the front foot. QPR started to get into the game a little bit more.
You're forgetting about the penalty, aren't you?
Yeah. And then when they got that penalty, of course, then we all thought, well, could be 1-1, could be game changer here. That when Patterson saved it with his toenail, that's when the game changed. The QPR, the heads went down, Sunderland dropped a gear, and they just ripped them a new pipe. To be honest with you, we were just class.
A pipe.
Pipe, aye. We just outclassed them, outpassed them, outthought them, outmoved them. They couldn't cope with our 1-2 passes, little flicks, little back heels. We just split them apart. It was, I mean, Gary Bennett said, you know, like the world's apart. These two teams, it's just they're no match for us, which was really nice to hear. And I thought by the end of the game, I thought it was a really good professional performance from the lads. I thought it was a really good showing from them.
Was it you who said we were humbling them by only beating them 3-0?
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure somebody said like we humbled them, like we'd let them off with not scoring more goals. Do you think QPR season's pretty much written off and over now? Are they fighting for survival? Because looking at their current form, they've only got 2 points out of the last 5 games. That's relegation.
Yeah, I mean it's mad how they've dropped on form. I mean their last win. If anybody can have a look back and find out when was QPR's last win.
They've won 10 this
Give me a
season.
second.
They've won 10.
Give me a second, I'll find out.
They have won 10 games.
Who were they playing against? What was the result?
Better not be fucking Preston.
Oh, I can't
No,
see
it is. It was Preston in December last year.
It wasn't under the current manager though.
Oh my god.
But,
Oh god.
but it is true. I'm not taking the mickey. That was their last win against managerless Preston. And if you look up all the results, it's just yellow and reds right across the board. They've really, really dipped. And if you scroll further down, into 2022 last year, there's a lot more greens indicating wins. So that to me, as we all know, that was when the manager decided to go to Rangers, and that's when they've just totally collapsed. I think it's definitely not working, their manager.
Well, Colo Toro is available for them, but
Steve Bruce, there was on Talk Sport today. Could be going to QPR.
I mean, they've got to be desperate, right? Paul, what was your thoughts on the match, mate? You said you went, or was that Acacia? Acacia, what I said you went?
That was Acacia.
Yeah.
I didn't go. last time I went to QPR actually was in the cup.
In the cup, okay. Did we win?
But,
did we win?
Yeah, we did actually. We won on penalties.
Oh, that was 2017, 18. It was pretty.
No, 2021/2022.
Oh, last season.
Under Lee John. Yeah, the Lee John.
Lee Pearce was in goal for us.
I can't remember that match.
I can because we won.
You were there.
I was there. But Tuesday's game, that referee I wasn't actually happy with. But yeah, actually that first time actually we've actually won under that referee,
Yeah, and I can understand that perspective because, like I said, the first half, I thought there was a lot of fouls that were getting like, oh, I'll just note it down and tell you to calm down, rather than issue yellow cards where they were warranted. But I think, like DJ said, the penalty given to QPR and they fluff it up. After that point, I think he was really free with his yellow cards. He's like, I've given a penalty, now I've got to be consistent with that.
Tell you what, though, because I actually watched the game. I was in Greg Sports Bar in the town centre.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually shouting my head off actually when they tackled. I think it was Roberts.
Yeah,
went on the floor.
Was that the final? The second goal or the third goal?
I think it was the second goal. I think.
Well, he played advantage and we ended up scoring.
Yeah, I actually saw one of their players should have been sent off.
Oh yeah. He didn't get carded for it, which is mind-boggling. But is there any Sunderland player that you think had a poor match in that game?
No, not for me. I think that team was. I think they all played for the shirt.
I'll chip in at the end. But Jacob, what were your thoughts on the match?
Start off, we seemed a little cagey, but as time went on towards end at first half, we of course Luke O'Nien got a little scrappy to us, and then I think so second half seemed all right, but then we seemed to sit back a bit, and then after QPR's penalty, we seemed to have woke up and thought, right, let's not let them get to us. We need to start getting to them to finish the game off, and We did, and Will Ferrell was drowning, drinking his own tears.
The tears of sorrow.
Yeah.
That was just comedy gold. He's probably done that hundreds of times for every single sporting event he's done, but it's the first time I've come across it. And
yeah,
how can you be so wrong, so funny at the same time?
Football. He just quite. I think he is quite into football, and he has gone to quite a lot of games.
Okay. He's been to QPR games, so has he really been to proper games?
Don't know. I think he's been to Chelsea games because I've been told he's a Chelsea fan. Apparently.
Oh, he's a London. Yeah, okay. He doesn't venture outside of London football teams. That makes sense. I understand that.
He just came to see Sunderland.
He's just found his new team he should be supporting. Yeah, in interesting times. So for me, that second half was a breath of fresh air. We came out the gates firing. There was a couple of things that pissed me off. The referee and his reluctance to penalise QPR and some Sunderland players. To be honest, we did deserve a couple of yellow cards here and there. And like I said, I think pretty much at that chair penalty incident, I think his head just switched and he just went with it. I think at the end of the game, QPR had like 3 or 4 yellow cards and we had just the one. And I think, wasn't it Clark who got the yellow card? For us?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. But we didn't really do anything that was that malice. They were just, I think they were trying to apply the same tactics that Reading have: slow them down, don't let them break through, and get them on the counter. But they're the home team; they should be doing the opposite. They should be attacking all the time, and we should be defending resolutely. But that shows you how poorly QPR have been performing over the last couple of months. And yeah, Sunderland are on the up and up.
You know what? Look, I'm surprised with that because I actually liked Niall Critchley's teams. You know, especially like when he was at Blackpool. I thought he did all right with them, but I'm surprised with the way he's doing it with QPR. Like,
he's not doing a good job though, is he?
No, he's not.
No.
Justin Epley says he's part owner of LAFC. I think that's regarding Will Ferrell. And Don Calino has said he doesn't follow an English football club, just the club he owns, LA. So maybe he's using it. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're out of season, aren't they? They start up next week because America does a weird season where they don't play in the winter because half the teams are covered in snow.
How long is their season and MLS? How long does it run for?
It's normally Feb to September, isn't it? So, basically, any time where there's a lot of tornadoes or a lot of snow, they don't do it, because they've got teams that are near Canada, and then they've got the teams in the hot belt in the middle of the country. So, geographically, the MLS is a nightmare. We, I think, should pause our games for a little bit during the icy spells at the start of January, but just get match postponed, frozen pitch, and then you got to make it up in May. It's bizarre. Oh yeah, he was wearing the LAFC hat, wasn't he? So probably he's promoting it. Well, he did promote it, but he sounded like a dick doing it.
No, I think he was showing KLD it because he was sat near KLD actually on Tuesday.
Well, that's the rich boy area, isn't it? It's the commercial media and what do you call it? The safe area.
He's a good actor overall, though, isn't he, Will Ferrell? He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor, mate. He's funny. Yeah, but I like how one of the most interesting points from a QPR's perspective was a fan essentially in the stadium rather than anything that their players did. That to me is a sign that your team is struggling even more so than, I don't know, losing 3-0. It's it was just a weird game, but also really, really fun. The scrambly goal for Luke O'Nien, loved that. First half, kind of weak from a Sunderland perspective. Do you think any of the subs? So here's the subs coming up here now. Bar for Diallo, Pritchard on for Dan Neil, and then Ekwar for Gelhart. You think? Oh, and Serkin for Elise. You think those 4 subs helped with us scoring the 2 extra goals? Because it was Diallo and Clark that combined to make the second and the third.
I would say definitely.
Aye.
Why do we need to make subs to score goals?
I don't know, because do you not think possibly those came on to actually help the squad?
Yeah, I kind of like the approach where you've got match starters and match finishers rather than the starting 11 and they're the best 11. Because then you're saying everybody on the bench, you're not our best players. You still, I think, when you make them subs and you put them on, with the exception of Bass, because Bass is never going to get a game unless Pato gets injured. The rest of those players could come on and make a difference in the game. And I think that's a difference that we've had this season over the last, say, decade. We've had our first strong 11, and that's the only players we want to play. We make a sub if we have to in the game. So I don't know. I really just like how we're looking and we're unfolding over the last couple of weeks. I know there's a lot of so I'm going to call out Gelhart now, right? And I'm going to ask you for your opinion on him and his performance in that game. But there's a lot of noise around the transfers, and only bringing in one striker made a Speakman and KLD, the board have made bad decisions in the transfer window by not bringing in more strikers. But to the same regard, we're winning games. Like, if we were losing games, I think we would double down and hatchet bury our head into that hole. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Gelhart? Because he's the only striker we brought in that window, and he's still not scored for us.
No, I hope not another Will Grigg situation. But maybe still give him some time though. But
he's only here for the rest of the season. He's not a permanent signing, is he?
No. But
I think with Gelhart, I think the chance he had actually on Tuesday, when he hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
If only that actually went in,
we'd be singing his praises.
That would have started his Sunderland career off.
Yeah, but how many if there is an option to buy him, I think he will be starting every single game for us for the rest of the season. So that is another 46 we play, so another 15 games. How many goals would you expect from him and for us to still be in the playoffs? EJ.
Tricky one. He played well against KPI. He was a bit of a menace. It just needs that one time for his confidence to go through the roof, and it will come if he just keeps being persistent. I think it will happen.
Good.
He's only say like 17 games left. Hopefully that he doesn't get any injuries or anything like that. But I would like to hopefully see him get 5 to 7 goals before the end of the season.
5-7 goals. That would put him on par with Ellis Sims. So, Justin's popped in the chat. Shows the loss of Stewart kind of sparks the impact subs and change of shape makes. Before that, it would be easier to point out how we build to a goal. So we are kind of plucking goals out of thin air, which is a brilliant problem to identify. Dob, what's your thoughts on not still scoring but not having a dedicated striker that's putting the ball in the back of the net?
if anything, the fact that you're scoring goals without a striker is really impressive. I mean, as a football team, you should still function without a striker. It's just you're having players that are playing, like you're having strikers that aren't going to be with the team permanently. So I think team bonding is going to be a bit, because I think the most important thing with, like, especially scoring goals, is synergy between the players. I think if you're constantly going to be switching out strikers when contracts are up and etc., it's going to be a bit.
I don't think we will. I think the only changes we'll be making up front is Amad Diallo and Gelhart. Like, if Gelhart's not starting, if he has a week off for the sniffles, or he wants to go to the cinema on that Saturday, I don't know. But we do have Amad, who's there, and Amad Diallo is scoring a lot for us. But he's not like this big target man, or he's not like this Messi who just scores from every angle. He does work hard for his goals. So I do think Gelhart will start every single game. STO5's popped in and says he could have had a couple of goals against QPR. When that first goal goes in, he will have a lot more confidence, I think. So how many games do you think? Because there's 15 games left. He's already played 2 full games and one is like kind of a half game. How many games in do you start to rate his Sunderland experience as being poor if he doesn't score?
How long's he been with you?
Literally since the January transfer window. So it's not like a massive issue.
He's only been here 2 months.
So if he's not scored and it's April, then
I give him like
April,
maybe 4 or 5 games. I reckon if he's not scored by then it's not.
That's 3 weeks away.
Yeah, that's why I said 4 or 5 games. I'll go by games. If he's gonna play, we'll say 4 or 5 full 90-minute games.
Yeah,
because if he's like on the pitch for like 20 minutes, he's not gonna have many chances, is he?
No, but you've got to remember though, he is coming from a Premier League club, and he will have the ego of a Premier League striker.
True.
I think he thinks he could score from anywhere, and he deserves to be on the pitch as a dedicated striker, which is exactly what we want. We just need him to deliver.
He'll have the aggression you need, at least.
Yeah, exactly. So
I say if he's not scored within 4 games, then issues.
Like 4 more games. So at game 7,
I'll say 4 more games. Yeah.
Okay. Lads, any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd give him maybe. Say if it's April and he's still not scored, then yeah, he can fucking stay at Leeds. You know.
Yeah.
Don't get him back. Stay at the shithole of Leeds United.
So Don Calino says he will score tomorrow. We're talking about him like he's in a massive drought. It's literally his 3rd game at the club. It's not like a massive issue, but it is something we need to consider. If he is our dedicated striker, he needs to start delivering.
Yeah, what I liked about on Tuesday, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Mowbray actually had Jack Clark actually playing up front with Joe Gelhart on Tuesday.
Which is why he scored twice.
Mm-hmm.
It's already been long enough without a goal, says Justin. It would look a lot worse for him if we weren't playing well elsewhere, getting goals from everywhere else. And STO5 says if he gets 6 goals while he's here, I think that's a good return. 6, to be fair, 15 games left. Him with 18 to play potentially. 1 in 3 for a striker who's a loanee. I think that's half decent as well. So yeah, I agree with that. And
yeah, but for me, on the striker situation,
yeah,
I don't know, but I think probably Mowbray's a bit frustrated with Christian Speakman.
Go on, elaborate. I can see it, but go on.
So no, I think I could. I think I think it was the last press conference. I think it was Moby wouldn't say that he was a bit frustrated, but I can probably see that he is frustrated with the board and not actually getting that second striker in when we needed him.
Potentially. Yes, I was just about to, Rosie. So Rosie's pointed out a really good point that I think we're going to struggle with come the end of the season with these loanee players. So Ahmad will be leaving us in the summer, going and getting recalled back to Manchester United, and Gelhardt will be going. I can't remember if it was Ekwar Lahaji that's going as well. It's one of those, and I think we've got like 5 strikers who are basically on fire. Not 5 strikers, 5 players, sorry. And those returning will hugely change the dynamic of the club again. Do you think by the summer rolls round?
We only have three players coming back on from loan.
Yeah, and we don't want them back though, do we?
What, you wouldn't want Bailey Wright back in the summer?
No. Bailey Wright,
He's
I
still...
love the bloke, but he's not as good as Bath and Ballard. He's just not. I'm sorry, but I think he's a top bloke. He's Luke O'Nine-esque. He puts his heart in on his sleeve every day. He puts his kit on, but Ballard and Bath as a partnership is so much better than Ballard and Wright or Bath and Wright yeah. So if we have issues with Bath and Ballard, like one of them gets injured, yeah, definitely take him back and have him as our third choice. But he's done so many stupid mistakes, even this season, loads last season, that led to goals.
Yeah, I'm going to put this question to you, actually, because
thank you all.
I know we haven't seen much of him, but what do you think of Lahaji so far?
Well, Kalino says Lahaji is quality, mark my words. So we have...
because when he came on the last home game at home, when he came on second half, I was actually impressed with him when he came on. He wasn't on for that long.
Yeah, like I was trying to remember what he actually did in the game. DJ, I know you've been quiet for a couple of minutes. What's your thoughts on Lahaji?
Similar to Gelhardt thing, to be honest with you. There's still plenty of time. I don't think he's done he's done that really that bad, to be honest with
you. Justin's popped in with a quick message saying Patterson and Ballard are Premier League quality. Would you say some of the other lads in our team are Premier League quality? You're not. Jacob, any of our team Premier League quality?
Premier League quality. Not top of it.
How's nobody saying Lyndon Gooch?
He's injured, that's why.
Fair. But he's I know, like, not many fans like him, like as a Premier League player. They like them in League One and the Championship, but
he puts his out on something, doesn't he?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, but he is literally an ex-Premier League player. There's not many of them that have done it for Sunderland in the Premier League. So
he was with us when we went down with Moyes. Actually, he didn't play a lot at the time, but he was, he's experienced
with us for a good while now.
Who's that? Sorry,
I think Gooch has been with us since the days of Steve Bruce, I think.
Yep, Steve Bruce, 2013, I believe. Oh no, 15. Can you stat man for us on that one?
Yeah, get sorry, I'm looking at
Lyndon Gooch.
Lyndon Gooch. Hip injury, says he's gonna come back end of February.
When did he sign for Sunderland? Which year?
Sign for Sunderland? Let's have a looky, shall we?
Kalino says 12 more hours, mate, or something so silly as well. 12 hours is you go to sleep, wake up, and you can do it then. If we get to Wembley, Rosie says, in the final, would you take it in the final.
Who would you take in the final?
Who would you take in the final? Right? Do you mean opposition? Luton Town.
Middlesbrough.
I wouldn't take no. To be fair, I'd rather take Middlesbrough as the first and second leg because
according to this, 2014.
Oh, so when I said 13, no 15, I might as well just stuck in the middle. There you go.
Yeah.
And it was around then, but that was Steve Bruce season, so.
I know.
I think Bruce gave him his first debut.
I've heard Martin O'Neill signed him into the academy in like 2011. So I don't know. He's definitely been here for a long time.
So all's popped up a quick one here saying Clark up front was a smart move by Mowbray. My question is that correct? But I'll continue reading the rest of his thing while you work out your answers. When we went first strikerless away to Reading, it took 4 games for the opposition to figure us out. This time round, he knows who we have and how to do things a little bit more differently. So the issue of having Sims and Stewart injured earlier in the season has allowed the team to develop this style, which is successful without a striker. And Clark up front by Mowbray is a smart choice. Agree or disagree?
So Clark on his ear.
Clark is a striker. You gotta remember he has bagged 2 good goals.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, and I think he's on his day. He's probably one of the best players in the team. Clark, he's an outstanding player, and I think he's another. Would you say he's like another sort of O'Neill where he puts his heart and soul in?
Jack Clark, no.
Oh.
I think he's a good quality player. I do think he's driven, but I don't think he's Lyndon Gooch driven. I think he's probably more like Niall Quinn driven, like that kind of talent. He loves the club, but he doesn't like do stupid things for the club. If that makes sense. I think he's just got a bit more switched on. The thing I don't like about Clark and Roberts to say is they try to be too many players too often.
Yeah.
Paul, Clark, a smart move up front by Mowbray.
It depends really, because what I'm thinking of is, say, like for tomorrow, for example, against Bristol City.
Yeah.
Both Sims and Stewart scored against them down there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not with us now. Well, Stewart is, but he's injured. So for the game tomorrow, I know, Gelhardt will probably feature, but what is Tony Mowbray going to do against them?
I think time will tell with that one. I know what we want to happen. We'll move on to Bristol City on the next question. But DJ, do you want to weigh in on that, and we'll work out what we're going to do with Bristol City? Is he there? DJ?
Earth to DJ?
DJ? No, he's not there.
DJ.
He's there.
Falling asleep. No, he's gone off to find out the Preston manager, that's what.
Oh, got you. I saw green. He's tie-dyed his nana's niggers. DJ.
Come back towards light.
He's an absolute baller. So Justin's also popped in to say Clark is too quick with the ball to leave up top. I don't think he is. I know that sounds really bizarre, but like, shouldn't you want faster players up front to break past the slow, sluggish defenders rather than them having been in midfield and feeding the ball to somebody else? You'd much rather just get a through ball. Like that's a strange comment, Justin, but I get it. Like, he does push us forward a lot more than most other midfielders have. Clark is good at drifting wide, bringing defenders in with him, then dropping his shoulder, dropping into the space. Gabby Chris, but he's always surrounded by 3 or 4 players because he invites them in. and he gets tackled maybe 4 out of 5 times. It's that 5th time that we enjoy the most. DJ's back. It sounds like he's just put his headset back on.
Hello.
There he is. Hello. So, I don't know if you heard the question or not, but Alt
No,
MD.
repeat it again. I don't know. Something seemed to freeze at my end. But what were you saying again?
Clark up front was a smart move by Mowbray. Do you agree with that?
Scoring the goals must be.
Simple enough. Simple question, simple answer. Right, lads, we'll move on to the upcoming match against Bristol City. I think we could also talk about the following game, but it might be a little bit of too much ifs, whats, and what's about it, depending on injuries, cards, etc. So I don't think predictions and stuff are going to be a good idea. But we'll do predictions first. Darv. 2-0 Sunderland.
3-0
Sunderland.
3-0. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. This is at the Stadium of Light. Bear that in mind. DJ.
Oh dear me, I just don't want to get too cocky. First time it'll be this season, 3 wins on the bounce.
We don't get too carried away.
I can't see anything else but a Sunderland win. It just depends if Bristol City come to our ground and start playing similar to what Reading did.
Okay.
But we've seen it so many times before with Sunderland where we're on a roll and the fans are on a high and they're looking forward and you get confident, and it's just an absolute shit show from Sunderland and like they lose something like a scrappy 1-0 or something like that. But I'm hoping not. I mean, I'm going to stick my neck out and say, we are sort of confident, and I'm going to go for 4-0 Sunderland.
4-0. Wow.
4-0.
I'll take that.
I would take that any day of the week. You're not alone in that prediction, though.
If we can turn up the heat like we have been doing and the way we pass the ball, especially going forward up front, there'll be no match for us, Bristol City.
Yeah, that's really good. I can see it happening on the day. They are kind of in a bit of an up curve in terms of their form, though. So I'm a little bit more worried. I'll read out the chat's predictions, then we'll ask you, Paul. So Acacia says a 2-1 win for us tomorrow. Don Colino said a 3-1 win with Gelhardt to score. Rosie's also joined the bandwagon with a 4-0 win. And Yorkshire, we'll move on to you after Paul because you can see it yourself. Paul, your prediction?
Well, like I said in Autobia Productions yesterday, they've got a very experienced manager, unfortunately, in Nigel Pearson.
Yep.
We were close to getting him before we got Lee Johnson. And actually, this is one of Lee Johnson's former teams as well. So, we're in good form, and they are.
Yes.
We're at home, so I am going to go with 2-0 Sunderland.
Okie dokie, a nice clean sheet. We do love a clean sheet and sometimes dirty ones, but Jacob, mate, do you want to elaborate, or do you want to just read out your comment?
I said a 3-1 win for Sunderland. Bristol City fans, you'll be drinking your tears of sorrow. It's going to be a real humiliation for you. You're in our house and you play by our rules.
Oh, yeah. I like that one, mate. Robin Hood has also said 2-1. I think Bristol aren't pushovers. Really good point. And Josh Cunningham, welcome along, has said a 3-3 draw. That is a huge scoreline. But it was 3-2 last time round. So, you know what? It's not without merit. For me, I'm going to go down the draw route because I got my what we're going to fuck it up again head on because we don't win 3 in a row. So I'd much rather take a point than a loss. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Don't forget Acacia's score prediction. Just comment.
Acacia, I said it. 2-1 Sunderland.
Oh.
I said it. I read it out loud. Just rewind. You'll have it twice now. It's all good. And did I read it out loud or just read it in my head? Either way, Bristol City, 41 goals scored for 40 against. I could take a 2-1 win, but yeah, I think 1-1's going to be on the cards. And with a 1-1 draw, we wouldn't drop that far down the lowest. The teams around us, Blackburn, Millwall, are the only teams who could be matching our points. So we'd only drop one place if we draw tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see.
By the way, Mowbray said yesterday he's making changes tomorrow. Not that many, but he is going to make changes.
Oh, so have you actually watched his pre-match conference then already?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
That's a bit early for a pre-match conference. 2 days before the game. You don't think that's bizarre?
It is but do you not think he done it before Bristol City done it? But before Nigel Pearson done his?
Okay. What is that? Is that a Mind Games thing? Sorry.
It could be because when well, fair enough, Mowbray said there would be changes, but he wouldn't say who.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him, because Nigel Pearson could be listening to that press conference. He'd be like, "Oh, they're making changes.
Yeah,
that's who they're putting in that squad. We'll do the same."
I don't know about that. I think putting a press release out that early and saying you're making changes, but then to not make any changes would be the biggest, smarter move, because Bristol City will have a game plan based on what our last 3 or 4 games have been like. That's how.
Honest, with Milo, I think the only changes Tony Mowbray boys do, I think it'll be midfield.
I think it'll be a solid 3 at the back, but I think we'll see where the team sheet comes out. Jacob, we rudely interrupted you there. What were you saying?
I was going to ask Paul if he knew what Mowbray had in his press conference. Did it show what he had or not? I was just wondering.
No, unfortunately, it didn't actually show.
I'm more interested in seeing what he's
eating.
Yeah.
We don't want to be talking about food because DJ's here and what classes as food in our world isn't necessarily the same in your world.
Until you've all tried it.
Next thing you know, he'll be having cow's head or something like that. Knowing DJ, I don't know.
Yeah. So that aside, Rosie has said nothing to do with Sunderland, but what has happened to Wigan this season? So I'll repeat my chant. At least we're not Wigan. At least we're not Wigan.
Wigan.
I don't know. Like I think it's just all about Westy. What game are you watching? This is not a watch along. This is the Mackem football show. Tomorrow we will be watching the Bristol game, but right now is Reading and Cardiff, and those 2 games don't really impact us on the league. So, Wigan aside, is there any other teams in this league that you think are either having a way too good season that you're not sure why the hell they're in this league, or they're too poor and should never be in this league again? Dov. Dov?
Sorry, again.
Dov.
A team that's too good or too bad for the league? Too good or too bad for this league?
Well, Sunderland.
No. Which teams in the Championship are either too good or too bad for the league?
Wigan can fuck off.
There you go.
Huddersfield can fuck off.
I think, yeah. Huddersfield can fuck off. I think Stoke of not playing well.
Oh, so you sit stuck and fuck off? Yeah, okay.
So fuck off.
What
Burnley probably. I mean, they're
They're
currently
too good.
first,
They're
so I
too
think that
good.
speaks for itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Middlesbrough might go up as well. Apart from that, I think the rest is as it is.
Do you think when Stoke come at the Stadium of Light, the Stadium of Light should give Alex Neil a standing ovation because he was the only manager that actually did get us out of that division. He got us promoted, and he gave
Not
us
a
a
chance.
memorable day at Wembley.
Not a chance. Like Paul said, not a chance. No, he can go. He can fuck off, little snake.
And tie-dye's
He
neighbours.
can get out of the ground just as quickly as he can.
Yes, he did his job for 8 months, but the way he left us and the manner he left us, and yeah, just leaving us in the lurch, absolutely proper dick move. Why would we give him a standing ovation? We can give him a minute's flipping the bird if you want.
It's probably going to be the loudest boo at the Stadium of Light since Jack Colback returned to the Stadium of Light when he played for Newcastle.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've asked that question, though, DJ. Do you think we should be? Like, I think you might be in like the 2% of the Sunderland fans who are very nice about it.
I don't know, because I mean, he got us promoted, and it's the first time a lot of Sunderland fans and the thousands have seen Sunderland win at Wembley in front of their own fans. You know,
Yeah.
it's. I'd be one of them to say, like, you know, well done or thanks.
Yeah,
basically.
you'd be the guy. You'd be the same guy who would record themselves talking to John Terry the day before he gets sacked, saying you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Or DJ will be someone who would look up and down before crossing the road, like that.
I mean, you can't be too safe, mate.
I just don't know. I mean, we don't really know the ins and outs to why he's left, or what the hell has actually gone on. I don't think we'll ever get to find out, will we?
No, but it could be that KLD, Donald, all of those influences that he just had enough of, and Stoke were offering him to be the manager and make the decisions. I think
it could work to Stoke's favour, though, if we become really hostile to Stoke. It could work into Stoke's favour. It could spy them on. It's funny how it works.
Yeah, it is, but I don't think it will, because
we'll probably smash them, won't we? We'll probably smash them at our place.
We beat them 1-0, and then he left us for them, and they in that game were really, really poor, and you could understand why they needed to get rid of their manager. It's just, I don't think they've changed all that much. In if anything, they've downgraded some of their positions. Like they've got the majority of the same core unit, but all of their good loans have went back in the January transfer window, and they haven't really replaced them. So like Robin Hood says, he can have fun in 19th. I think he might be lucky come the end of the season to be with a 1 in front of his team's position. Like, I can genuinely see him being 20th through to 23rd. Bear in mind, I think the team that should be bottom of this league is Huddersfield, like Westy says. Huddersfield are just tragic. But Blackpool have frustrated Sunderland when we've played them. So.
Oh, at home we did, definitely, as well as the away fixture. That home game against Blackpool, it was just like watching a chess game, really, in a way. A bit boring as well, frustrating.
Yeah. Everyone is doing the Tony Mowbray. Come on, baby, do the Tony Mowbray. No, thank you. No, thank you, Jacob. Like Kidd and Tony Mowbray showed their middle finger to Alex Neil, asking him to come back, and the kid said, Mowbray is doing a better job. Yeah, like, I get it. The stance around celebrating the successes of our past players and managers, but You can't be rewarding people with a minute's applause or stuff like that when they're being purely selfish and, I don't know, literally, I don't know. It's like burning the kitchen and saying, "Go on and clean that up." Just thanks for the nice meals. Thanks for the nice. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, mate. Like, no.
To be honest with you, it'll be interesting actually with the what the players' reaction will be. Actually, when the referee blows the whistle to start the game. Actually, come that match, it'll be interesting actually what the players think of it.
I think the players will be the ultimate test. I think there'll be a couple of them that'll shake his hand before the game, but I think there'll be a lot more of them that'll be jumping in his face, like Chris Maguire did to Lee Johnson if we win. So, I don't know. Could you imagine? Think of it this way from a player's perspective. You've got this gaffer in charge who's telling you, I'm going to start you this week. Our roadmap for you is this game, this game, this game in these positions. We'll try out this game where we are a little bit more confident that we might lose. And anyways, it's an okay 3 points to drop. So we'll try an experiment in that game with you. And then next day, he just goes, fuck off, I'm leaving for Stoke. And then you're like, well, that game plan doesn't make sense anymore.
Just think actually Michu actually came in that day.
Exactly. Like Michu came in because he thought Alex Neil was going to be his gaffer. He signed him over.
No, son, I need it on.
Yeah.
No, you're not saying no because it'll get lost, son. It'll get left there.
Do you get what I mean?
I'm going to say this now. That game will get a full stadium.
I'd be up there. I don't think that because it is a Saturday. The Saturday fixtures generally do have a lot more people in. But yeah, it is what it is. I think we're up to the hour mark now, so that is the show done and dusted. Is there any final comments or things you want to add in before I wrap up? Go in order, Jacob.
No, not really, but I just can't wait to see Bristol City drinking their sorrows or tears.
You're starting to sound like Will himself, so just be careful around that.
Yeah.
Paul?
No, not really, but I'm doing fans' reactions outside of Bob Stokewell's statue tomorrow after the game.
There you go. So if you go into the game, go to the Stokewell statue after the match to be quickly interviewed about your reaction. DJ.
Hello.
Any final comments before we wrap up the stream?
Yeah, what do you reckon the attendance will be at the stadium? Do you think we'll break the 40,000 mark?
Against Bristol City in 16th, and we've won 2 games on the bounce. Probably is about 39. DJ, Paul, Jacob, numbers?
Around there. I don't think we'll get to like 45, but it will be might be up there, but you never know.
45? Jesus. Paul, numbers?
It's stiffing his nana's knickers, definitely.
Say for me at that, I don't know, but I think it depends because a lot of people will be buying tickets online. Plus, the ticket office is open well before kickoff. So
anybody who just rocks up can go.
Sunlight off, son.
Fuck the Mags. Fuck the Smuggies. Fuck Alex Neil. Anybody else you want to fuck, Jacob?
No, but I'm just saying it to
emphasize it. Yeah, cool. 41K says Rosie and Darv. Any final comments, Professor Darv?
No, but I can give you a number. I reckon it's going to be 37,612.
Is that our average?
That's just a random number, I'm guessing.
It'll be 40K for a definite against Stoke. Oh yeah, definitely. We all want to see Luke O'Nien beat Alex Neil. There we go. And from me, I've got a reaction. What do you call it? A summary league update video coming out for the last 2 weeks of games. I'll do the same for the Saturday and Tuesday games coming up. And yeah, if you haven't already, smash the like, subscribe, all of that good YouTube jazz. Catch you on the next one. Thank you very much. Bye.
See you later.